Internet is very slow. It's killing. Okay. I'll just wait for some students to log in. In 1 or 2 minutes, I'll start. Okay. Yeah. Hello. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Hello. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hmm.
टोस्ट खानुभयो बिहान
Hmm.
टोस्ट खानुभएको थियो बिहान एउटा मात्रै छ त ल मैले पनि खानु खुसी लाग्छ फोनको हेला गरेर अनि खानु गर्नु गयो त्यस्तो सबै टोस्ट खानुभयो बिहान
Okay. I start here. Okay. Okay. Suksla Sen. Hi. Mapi. Hi. One Ba. Hi. Singo Shisawanyang. Hi. Banoy Bor. Hi. Okay. Hi Gary. Hi to everyone. Okay. Now I start here. Okay. Today's topic, which I'll be doing here, is, which I have repeated in class also, this one, linked list and its representation. Okay, so this is the topic, what is what we call as a linked list. Now this is exactly there in the notes, whatever it's there in the notes, I'm picking it from there only. If you read the notes, you'll get the whole thing. Okay, now what is basically a linked list? Okay. What is a linked list? Okay, that's the question. The answer here is, it's simple. It's a collection of nodes. Okay, it's a collection of nodes so what basically is a linked list is, it's a collection of nodes. Nodes in a way, this is one node. I've done this one in class. This is another node. So we have here three nodes. Now each node has two different parts. So linked list is a collection of nodes. Okay, now in exam don't write diff, you have to write different. Okay, in each node has two different parts. Now what is a node? This is a node. Okay, fine. So these are all nodes. This is a node. This is also a node. Now each node has two different parts. Okay, so here we have three nodes, 1 2 3. Now the first part of the node is called data, or sometimes also called as info. Okay, so likewise the first part of the node is data or info. Okay, so this also will have a data info, this third one also will have a data info. Fine. Okay, so this will also have a data part. The third will also have a data portion. So this will also have a data or info, data info, data info. Fine. So let us store some data there now. Okay. I'll just store a data here. Okay, so I'll just store a number called as 5. Here I store a number called as, suppose, -4, say like -2. And here I stored number called as, suppose, 8. So the first part of this linked list is done. So linked list is a collection of nodes. There are three nodes here. Each node has two different parts. The first part is called the data or info. The second part is called Can anyone tell me what is the second part called? Can you just reply? I have done this one in class. What is the second part called? What will be this? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is 100% correct. Okay. Fine. Mafi is correct. Mafi, she said that it is called a pointer. Yes, the second part is called a pointer. Okay. Now we usually write pointers as PTR. Okay. It's written as PTR, or sometime it is also written at times it's in program we write it as star. Okay. Okay. So that's the pointer. Fine. I'm sorry. This is a pointer. Okay, it's not being reached here. So fine, I think that does the task. So what is linked list? It's a collection of nodes. Each node has two parts. What are this? The two part is, one part is called the data part. Okay. The other one is sometimes data also called as info, same thing, and the other part is called pointer part. Okay, so this is done here. So what is a linked list? Is a collection of nodes. It has two parts. One is called the data, and the one is called as the pointer. Okay, fine. Okay. Any questions still here? I suppose not much of problems you have here. Pretty simple. Okay. Now, what is this pointer part doing here? The pointer is pointing to the next node. This is the first node. This is the second node. This is the third node. So this one is pointing to the next node. Okay. See, like if I take an arrow here, so I'll put an arrow here. Fine. So this pointer is storing the address of this node. So in case like we're not supposed to say that, suppose this is node A, this is node B, this is node C. Okay. Now what this A node is storing, what the address of B in this part. This part is storing the address of B. Okay. Now this is a pointer. This is storing address of C. Okay. So this part of the pointer is storing address of B. This part of address is pointing B. Now in program when you write, say usually how we write is in a program we may have a structure by the name node. Now how we create linked list is something like this. We create a structure, then it has two parts. Say in the info part I'm storing this integer 5 minus 2 8. I write this is as info. Okay. And the next part is a pointer. Pointer to whom? Pointer to a node. All of these are nodes, is it? Pointer to a node. So this will be called, I'll give a next pointer to a node. This pointer to each node. See, B is a node, so A will store. Okay. I'll give the name. Variable name is next. So this is an info. I mean, this is integer 5. The variable name is info. Okay. Now this is a pointer. The variable name is given as next. Okay, so likewise, once I create the structure of this node, once I create each of these nodes, I may write now node A. Fine. I write suppose node A, node B, node C, for example. Now, what is node A? It is a structure which has two parts. One is the info part, another one is the next part. So inside A, okay, inside this A, I'll write something like A dot info is equal to, I'm storing here 5. Okay, A just 1 minute. Okay, I'll just make my screen a bit bigger. Okay, so now I have a bigger screen for this part. So we see here I have created a structure by the name node. This name can be anything. You can give node, my node, anything. I have given the name node. The first part is integer, second part is a pointer by the name next. So I created three different node ABC. Node dot info is equal to 5, and A, the next part is written like this. Now A is storing address of whom? A of next is storing the address of B. So likewise, B dot info will be this variable. Okay. Okay, I don't know where it is gone. Okay, no problem. So likewise, a dot info is this, and B of what is the address name of that pointer? I have given the name next. Next is equal to B. Oh, sorry, this is B. Now likewise, I can write B dot info is equal to say -2, and B of next is equal to C. Fine. Okay, this programming part you don't have to worry much here, but this will be done later. But at least you must know what is happening here. Okay. Okay. So linked list is a collection of nodes. Each node has two different parts, the data part and the info part, and the other part is the pointer part. In program, we create data, I mean a linked list this way. This will be done later in the practical. So here I have just shown you how we create three different pointers by the name A, B and C. A is storing info of A as 5, and the next pointer of A is B. B is storing a value of -2, next pointer of B is C. Now likewise, C is also storing some value. Okay, c dot info is equal to 8, fine, and c dot, sorry, c of next. What will be this address? C has to have an address here, but it is not pointing to anyone. Okay, now if a node is not pointing to anyone, that means the last pointer is blank. Okay, so this will be null. Okay, so likewise you see this. Okay, likewise you see this one. It's a collection of nodes, 5, 2 and are 3 different nodes. Info part is 5, info part here is -2, info part is here, and the link of A is B, storing the address here. Okay, so this means this is storing the address here in this part. Okay, so is this storing the address here. Okay, so likewise the last pointer, if we don't have anyone pointing to the next node, so this is what we call is a, who can see this, it is null. Okay, so this will be, usually it is written as I'll have to reduce the, so this will be called as a null. Okay, if you have any questions till this point, I just give you a pause. Okay, can I go ahead then? Okay, so I go ahead now. Okay, now this diagram as I have shown you here. Okay, just a minute. Okay, this diagram I have shown you here, this A, B and C. Okay, now the last pointer has a null value in its pointer part. Okay, what will this be called as? The first one, the first one, this is usually called head or start. So when I created those three nodes, if you remember, those A, B and C, I've created this nodes, is it? Nodes, nodes A, comma, B, comma, C. Now when I created this nodes, I put those values, is it? And the A dot info is 5, A next is B. So when I created those nodes, before I create, moment I want to decide which is my head or start, I'll have to make it that one. So my head is equal to the A. So a head always satisfies that this is the begin of list. Okay, and the position of head does not change. This, the first node is always called the head or the start. Sometimes it's called start. You can write here start is equal to A. In some book they write A head. That's the same thing. Some book they write this begin also. No problem with that. Okay, so those are the three things here. Now in exam, when they ask you this question, the very common question is, what is a linked list? Fine. So it's a collection of nodes. It has two parts, the data part and info part. Then you give this diagram. It at most, if it comes of definition, it will come not more than 2 or 3 marks. Okay, so you must know the definition of linked list. At least one diagram, this small diagram, that's all. Okay, I think I have taken a lot of time to explain this. Okay, now I'll go to the next part. Okay, I hope there is no issue here. Okay, linked list and its representation. Okay, this diagram is there in your notes also. Okay, I have extracted just from the notes. You can see in this notes. I'll just show you how this diagram works. Okay, now as I have just told you that a linked list always has a pointer which is called the start pointer or the head pointer, which always points the beginning of the list. Now suppose if we have a list like this, that means the start is pointing to whom? It is pointing to 9. Okay, and what is the information at 9? It is n, right? Now what is the link to 9? It is 3. Now what is there in 3? It is O. Now what is linked to this 3 O? It is 6. So we come here to 6. What is 6? There is a blank. So there's a blank here, nothing. Then what is linked to 6? It is 11. So 11 we go here. What we see here is 3. So likewise we are just tracing these two arrays. Okay, E. Fine. And then what is linked to E? It is node 7. What is there in 7? EX. So it comes here is X. So from X there is a link to 10. What is there in 10? It is I. Let's check what is the link of I. It is 4. What is there in 4? It is T. Now what is there in T? It is 0. 0 means sometimes also called as null. That means the link has reached the end. It's called as something called as null. Okay. Okay. Now this is, I just showed you in case if you didn't understand anything about the diagram. Okay, there's a diagram in your notes. You can see it's there in the book also. So here it says, you can check this one. Start is at 9. What is at 9? So info of 9 is this n, is it? N is the first character. Now link of 9 is 3. So what is at 3? It is O. Now info at this 3 is O. Fine, this O. Then what is link of O? I mean this, link of 3. This is O. Okay, what is the second character to this one? It is 6. So link of 6 is blank. So like this we trace, just to show you how this diagram works. Okay, I hope there is no confusion here in this diagram. If there is any confusion, you can type in the questions, or if you say, if I can go ahead, I just give you a pause here. Okay. Okay, I'll just go ahead now, okay, with this part. Any questions here? Okay, I'll go ahead now. Okay, fine. That's fine. Now, looking at this diagram, the question is this. Explain the representation of linked list in memory. Let the name of the linked list be list. Okay, you have to write it like this. Let list be a linked list. The list will be maintained in memory unless stated otherwise or implied as follows. If you don't write this one also, it is okay. Let the first line you write, let list be a linked list. First of all, list requires two linear arrays. We will call them as info and link. So to represent a linked list in memory, we require two different linear arrays. One of the array is info, the other one is called link. Fine, no big deal here. So first, the list requires two linear arrays. The one is called info, other one is called link. Such that info of k and link of a contain respectively the information part and the next pointer part of the list. Okay, such that the info of 2 and link of 2 will contain, this will contain the data, this will contain the link. Say for example, the info part of 3 will contain this O value, link of 3 will contain this value 6. So info of this 3, link of this 3 is this 6. Okay, so each of this info part and link part, they maintain their information. As noted above, the list also requires a variable name such that it is called a start. Now I've already told you what is a start, which contains the location of the beginning of the list, the head. And the next pointer sentinel above denoted by null, and a null pointer which indicates that the list has ended. Okay, that is the end of the list. Since the subscripts of arrays info and link will always be positive, we'll choose null is 0. Okay, here we don't write null, so we'll always choose null as 0. So most of the subscript here you see that are all positive numbers. So a 0 means the link has ended. So here instead of writing null, they are putting 0. Okay, the example of this linked list indicates that nodes of a list need not occupy adjacent element in the arrays. Okay, info and the link, and that more than one list may be maintained in a similar arrays info and link. However, each of them, they must have their own variable and a location. So now it does not mean that if I have 7, 7 next to 7 is 10, but 10 is here, is it? So it doesn't mean that every information is kept next to adjacent to each other, but it maintains its pointer. Where is x going next? It is going to 10. So after x follows what? I. Is it? After I follows what? 4. What is there in 4? T. Okay. So representation you read up to here. This part, explain the representation of linked list in memory. So to represent linked list in memory, we require two linear arrays info and link. Okay, such that the info part keeps the information, the link keeps the address, and we also need a pointer called a start, and the last pointer keeps the address null. But this diagram is very, very important. Okay, this diagram is important. You will have to explain this using a diagram. So we have done what is a linked list. So today we have done is, so when you explain this what is linked list, you have to give a diagram also better, and representation of linked list in this may again comes for next 3 or 4 marks. Okay, so that's all for today. I think it is more than almost 45 minutes, almost 7. I have a class with again maybe fourth semester will come in. So any questions you have anywhere in the slide or any part, you can just tell me. I'm here. 5 minutes. Yeah, any questions? Hmm, okay then, it's fine.